Hey guys, erockwhogaming here. Today I'm bringing you guys my first tutorial in my new tutorial series of C++. Pretty much what C++ is it's a C programming language, and it's really fun to use, really easy to pick up on. If you know Java or any C language, this shouldn't be too hard to learn because it really has a lot of the same syntaxes. I've been doing a lot of Java and a lot of C++, and even C Sharp. It's really very similar. It's just some syntaxes and commands are different, but it shouldn't be too hard for you to learn. Okay, so first thing you're going to want to do in your C++ editor is type pound include, include, then less than sign iostream, and then a greater than sign. So pretty much what this line of code is doing is it's including a library called iostream, and pretty much what a library is it's a set of commands that are now enabled by you doing this line of code pound include and then the name of the library. So it could be a different library name within these two less than and the greater than signs. But we have iostream, and iostream in particular, pretty much what it does is it's allowing input and output through the console. So that would be the C out, which is console out, and C in, which is console in. In this episode, we'll be looking at C out only, but yeah, that's pretty much what that's doing. So yeah, okay. Once you've gotten that line of code, we can now do using namespace std, then a semicolon. So pretty much what using namespace std is doing is like usually you'll have to type in std before things, and I can't really show it to you guys right now. I'll show it to you guys in a little bit what I'm talking about, but it makes your programming a lot easier because you'd have to type in std colon colon in a lot of spots, which just really makes it a lot more annoying. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can type in int main and then a parenthesis, and a bracket. My editor always puts the brackets there for me, which is really nice. But if you have a different editor, you might have to just put it manually. Okay, so in here we're going to type in cout, which, as I said earlier, is console out, less than, and then we are going to put a quotation, and you can put whatever you want in here. I'm putting hello world, and then a ending quotation, and then put less than end L semicolon. So pretty much what this is doing is it's sending this input string. It's not showing the actual quotations. It's just those just signify that it's an output string. It sends those to the console out, and I think of that pretty much as it's funneling those into the console out. And end L is saying for it to end the line. If we had another C out and then we didn't have the end L, it wouldn't have any space. It would just literally be right next to the hello world, and it looks really messy. And if you do want there to be a return in between them, then put the end L. And another thing is the semicolon. Most lines of code in C++ and a lot of other languages, you need a semicolon at the end just to say, okay, it's at the end. If you don't have that, it would give you an error message, as you see over here. Okay, so we've gotten that line of code, and the last line of code we are going to do is return 0. So return 0. So this is saying that the program has ended with exit code 0, meaning that it is completely done and it had 0 error messages. If you didn't have that line of code and then you stopped it manually, it would say ended with exit code 9, but I don't really think that does anything. And you can actually put like whatever number you want here. I think it may actually change what happens. So if we ran this, it would say with exit code 10. I'm not sure if that actually does anything. I just put 0 because, you know, it's just a nice little 0 ending. So if we run it now, it will say, hello world, program ended with exit code 0. If you are not using Xcode, which is what I'm using on my Mac, you might not, it might not say program ended with exit code 0. It might just like close out, and that's fine. It just return 0, just kind of says it's done. So yeah. Okay, so one last thing is I want to explain the using namespace std because I didn't really explain what that's doing. So pretty much what would happen if we got rid of that line of code is it would give you an error message at the cout hello world endl. So what we would have to do if we didn't have that is std : which stands for standard, and then std : endl. And that's really annoying because, you know, you would have to do that every single line of code. Put the std : and that gets really tiresome. So I would say just to do using namespace std just to make your code a lot easier. I'll put that line of code back. Just undo that. Okay. But yeah, it's just a lot easier with using namespace std. It makes it a lot easier, but I just wanted you guys to know that. So if you forget this line of code and you get an error message at cout, one of the reasons could be that you have using namespace std, or it could just be something stupid like you forgot semicolon. But yeah, that concludes our tutorial. I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, more tutorials will be coming up soon on like variables and a bunch of other coding logic. This was just very basic. If you guys have any questions about it, if it didn't work in your editor, you could explain what you did. Maybe you just forgot something like a semicolon, or you just had a typo, or maybe you even like capitalized something that you shouldn't have capitalized. There's a lot of stupid stuff that happens when you're programming, but yeah, just explain what happened if you did have an error. But yeah, hope you guys liked it, and be sure to comment, rate, and if you want to see more, subscribe. See you guys in the next video.